morning to everybody, and thank you for being here. It's great to see so many faces. It's great to see some of our athletes here, and coaches, and staff, and faculty. Thank you, Trustee Smith, for making it. I first of all want to thank the Board of Trustees and the Florida Board of Governors for their confidence in appointing me and ratifying me in this position, and getting ready to take UWF the next step, the next journey. But I do first want to recognize the leadership before me, President Saunders and the presidents before her, and the work that's been done here at UWF. I truly believe that this institution is a gem, not only in this community in Northwest Florida, but also across the state of Florida. And really, we need to be ready to make a national splash. I think we have the ability to do that, not just in academics, research, cybersecurity, but no pressure also in athletics. So I know football season is coming up here soon. I begin this work, and I just want to assure every member of the UWF community that we have the best interest of this institution in mind. And we also understand that this is interwoven with this community. And it is important not only for academics, for research, but also as an economic driver. And it's important that we keep that in mind, and that we support all of the programs here. And at the same time, to think out of the box, and how do we take that next step with UWF? How do we continue to put UWF on the map, and how do we have it so when we go visit places, myself, trustees, anybody in the room, or coaches, faculty that are traveling, etc., that people don't have to ask the question of where UWF is. And I think that's one of the things that is important, because at the end of the day, you can be doing incredible things, but if you're not letting people know that you're doing them, it's kind of hard to break through. And so that's part of the mission. But at the end of the day, throughout my entire career in education, and obviously as Commissioner of Education, my stance has always been that we have to be students first. And we have to understand that that's the business we're in. Right? And we have students that have placed their trust in us here at this institution by deciding to come to UWF, and it is our duty, our responsibility, to give them 1,000% and those opportunities, and make sure that they have a bright future, and by providing that. Having said that, when you're in a university, there are also other things that come with it, and it's very important. I've been fortunate to have great meetings with the business community, with the community in general, and I think there's so many opportunities across this region. Had the opportunity to tour the historic trust yesterday. I think that's a phenomenal asset. It is unique. I don't know of any other institution that has that kind of asset in our university system, and it is important that we highlight that, and we use it to the benefit of our community, and also to for our students. So as I start this journey, I've already started to do that, but I'm here to listen and learn and understand. I've done quite a bit of research. I've had some interactions in this community as Commissioner of Education with the K-12 system, and with Pensacola State College, as well as a member of the Board of Governors with UWF. But it's important to learn, to evaluate, to listen, and to make those decisions going forward, informed on what's best for the institution and for the community. And my vision for the university is going to be rooted in 4 core priorities. First, we will continue to strengthen academic excellence and expand our research capacity. That means supporting our faculty, attracting top talent, and investing in innovation across every area of the institution. Second, we will grow our workforce-aligned programs and partnerships, ensuring that our students are prepared for success in the industry shaping Florida's future. Whether it's cybersecurity, healthcare, engineering, or education, UF will lead the way in preparing the next generation of professionals. And I know in the short time that I've been able to go around, there are already some incredible opportunities, both here and downtown, where we have our students already participating to a certain level, whether it be at IHMC, or at the Andrews Research Center, or using the Haas Center the historic trust, American Magic. I mean, we have so many opportunities here. We have to continue to maximize that and provide our students the exposure and the opportunities to excel. We will enhance our offerings for military students, building on our well-deserved reputation as a university that embraces and supports active duty service members, veterans, and military affiliated families. I mean, I don't have to tell anybody here, within a 3-hour drive, the number of military installations that we have that are so important to our country and that are so important to this community and this region as a whole. And so we have to make sure, and I know a lot of work has been done with that, but we have to make sure we can continue to leverage that and maximize that potential. We'll promote access, affordability, and strong student outcomes. Every student that walks on this campus should know that they belong. We're committed to helping them cross that graduation stage and thrive as they take what they've learned at UWF into the world. And we have to continue then to foster that relationship because I know there's a strong alumni association, but we have to continue to foster that relationship. We've already been looking at where we have UWF alumni, whether it be Washington, D.C., or Tampa, or Atlanta, other parts of the country. We need to continue to foster that because those relationships will not only provide opportunities for our institution, but more importantly, they're going to provide opportunities for our students when they go to those places. And finally, we will deepen UWF's role in driving economic and community development throughout Northwest Florida. Our university is not just a place of learning, it's a driver of progress in our region, and a region that's already growing, and there's so much opportunity. I mean, I've been able to witness some of that just in a short time, and UWF really has to be at the center of that. And so I stand here knowing that my goals for UWF are big and bold, but I'm confident they're attainable, and because UWF has already achieved incredible things, the foundation here is strong, and everybody should take great pride in what we have accomplished so much as an institution already, but we need to continue to push. I can promise you that I am going to continue to drive that and push because we can't rest on our laurels. There's always room for improvement in every organization, every institution, and there's always opportunities out there that we can maximize. I would be remiss if I don't mention the strong metrics that the institution has already earned, especially in areas like post-graduation success and institutional efficiency. I'll be working directly with our provost to make sure we continue that, and I know he's very passionate and excited about that, so I know that will continue to permeate throughout the institution. Our programs of strategic emphasis, particularly STEM and health, are growing and responding to workforce demand. It is important because when you have a growing community in an economic phase, we should be supporting that, and I expect to forge even stronger partnerships, not only with industry and businesses, but also our partners at the state colleges, Pensacola State College, Northwest Florida State. We've already had conversation with Tallahassee State. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not ready to cede territory from here to Panama City. So Florida State, look out, because we're not going to just accept that you're going to be taking all those students. And we'll continue to lead in high impact practices, whether it's internships, undergraduate research, or study abroad opportunities. Our students are gaining real world experience that sets them apart. I already have some things in mind of some additional study abroad opportunities with some connections that I was able to make in my role as commissioner. I had the opportunity to really forge some strong partnerships in Spain, which interestingly enough, being in Pensacola, that's a direct connect. Also have had the opportunity to work closely with secretaries of education in places like Argentina and Brazil and others in Latin America. So I think there's an opportunity for us to pursue that and allow our students to have the chance to experience that and benefit from that. And UWF's enrollment remains strong and continues to grow as the provost has informed me, and that's going to be part of our goal. We're going to continue to grow this institution, not just for the sake of growing it, right, but for the sake of continuing that mission and continuing to strive for excellence across the board. This is exciting news to me. I didn't expect to walk into a situation, but we are definitely building a new football stadium, And that's a transformative facility that will benefit the UWF campus, our athletics program, but the greater community at large, because I know that's a gathering point. And having been at different institutions at different levels, when you have football, as the football season goes, usually the year goes. So again, no pressure over there to guys on the football team, and no pressure to Dave in athletics. So I'm excited for what lies ahead for UWF. I will lead with integrity and vision and a deep respect for the mission, but I will not hesitate to continue to push and bring new ideas, and I will push everyone on this campus to continue to do more and strive for what is possible. We can't have a small mentality. We have to continue to go. So continue to foster those relationships. I've had a chance to interact with some faculty members, but I plan on diving right into the deep end of the pool, getting together with faculty members, listening to faculty members, having conversations, especially also with students. That is something that has always been near and dear to my heart. So I really do enjoy having conversations with students. So I look forward to being around, walking, or in the golf cart, wherever I get around here, to make sure that we do that. And so to our students, to our faculty and staff, I am here for you. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to visit over with the facilities team over at their luncheon, and that was a joy to be able to meet all of them. And so together, we're going to write the next chapter in UWF's history. I'm excited. We're going to respect the past and celebrate that, but we're also going to push forward. So thank you all. Go Argos. I'll take a couple of questions if we have anything from the media or Mr.
Diaz, Tanner Stewart, WER here in Pensacola. There's been a lot of talk over the last several months about change. Governor DeSantis says big changes are coming to UWF. From your perspective, what are the biggest changes that need to come here to maximize that potential?
Well, I think, look, like I said from the beginning, I think the first thing we have to do is recognize the achievements and recognize where the institution has come. I think anybody who's been here for a long time and looking at it, you've seen the development of the institution. You've obviously seen major changes, like the addition of football was I'm sure, a drastic change, and I'm sure there were people that were for it and people that, maybe not so much. I think going forward, we have to continue to look at those programs and how do we maximize them, or how do you maximize cybersecurity? I mean, what I would like to see is when you talk about cybersecurity nationally, that UWF's name is right there, right? We shouldn't play second fiddle to any other institution, not only in this state but in this country. So we need to maximize that. How do we can always improve with our military. I think we're ranked, we're obviously ranked in the top 10 as military friendly. Continue to foster those opportunities. I intend to meet with every base commander going all the way over to Tyndall on how we can better serve our military community. And obviously you've seen the metrics, and it is difficult to improve from where we are now. But if the best defense is to play offense, and so you have to continue to look for ways on how do you continue to improve that. Fortunately, we have a provost that's very engaged in that, and it's a passion for him, so he's always looking at that. And at the end of the day, it can't just be a number, but how do the student experience, right? What are we doing for students? Because we can't get in the trap of just, okay, we have good metrics, so we're good. No, we have to continue to strive. So I think when it comes to changes programmatically, we will evaluate and look at where the improvements can be done. And of course, down the line, at some point, you have to look and make decisions based on what's working and what's not working. But I like to observe. I like to look at it. I like to take in data. And so we'll look at that. With any change, especially in administration, comes fear. That's normal in any organization. And so we just got to work through that. Got to get out and talk to people, let people understand that we're here. We're going to do things for the right reasons. And we'll make those changes not just for the sake of making changes, but every institution has the ability to improve across the state. All 12 state universities have that ability, and so we're going to be looking at those. But we're going to be student focused. We're going to be focused on economic development. We're going to be focused on making sure that we put UWF on the map, and we're going to be focused on quality. And how do we do that? How do we attract top faculty? How do we attract top students? That's what we have to do. And I don't think it's a one size fits all. I think there's there's a lot of things that could be done. Again, I'm not being critical of what's been done or where the university is. I think it's time for the university to be able to take the next step, and I think I can bring the energy to excite folks about UWF and to keep pushing forward.
On the athletic side, what are the biggest factors that separate UWF from, you know, the FSUs? I mean, we've seen Division II programs move all the way up to the FBS level. I think the community has the full support there. What can this school do to make that happen, or at least maximize that potential? Like you said?
Well, I can tell you that I have an athletics background, so I'm sure the athletic director and the coaches and student athletes are excited about that. I think you have you have a gem. I think that's the way I would describe it. And you're being very competitive at the Division II level. We will look at all options of what's best for this institution. And this institution is unique. It's not like every other institution. You know, we don't have 47 or 50,000 students. And so we have to do things that are prudent, but at the same time, we have to put our athletic department in the best possible situation to be successful and the student experience to be the right one. And I will say when you're doing that, there's a secondary effect, and some folks in this room have heard me talk about that. I think athletics is not just about the student experience and winning. That's certainly a part of it. I believe in athletics because, number one, at the K-12 level, I think it's the biggest dropout prevention program we have in this country. It's been the most effective. Number two, builds character. It builds young men and women, right? So just aside from winning, it's a microcosm of life, right? You go through adversity. You go through hard work, blood, sweat, and tears. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. The important part is to learn from every experience. But at the end of the day, I think we also need to use that as our front door. Right, I've seen many institutions that have done that effectively, and so what I would say to the academic folks and to the rest of the folks in the institution is, athletics is a branding apparatus as well as something that is for our students. So, if we can win, if we can be out there, it raises people's awareness of UWF, and our intention is to make sure that we maximize that because that will drive enrollment. That will pique students' attention. You know, maybe they weren't looking at UWF, but all of a sudden our football team, you know, no pressure, goes to a national championship. That's going to drive attention. We've seen it, you know, as a member of BOG, I've seen it at FAU. FAU made a run to the Final Four a few years ago. Their enrollment went up, you know, I don't know what the percentage was, but it was crazy. When FGCU did it, which is a similar sized institution, that drove enrollment and attention. And so, how do you maximize that, and how do you brand that, and how do you make sure there's visibility for the institution? Because that also provides opportunities to draw down other investment. Because when people want to be part of something, it's human nature, right? And if you're winning, people are more willing to donate money to academic programs. They want to be part of what's going on this campus. And I think it's incredibly important for morale and for school spirit on the campus. You just have a better functioning culture when you have that. And so I look at that as not only an experience for our students, which is the most important part, but also as a tool for the institution to continue to improve. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, Mayor, let's go into this journal. You spoke about meeting with the business community since you've been here. How much time do you plan on spending in Pensacola as interim? Has your family moved with you? Have you moved here?
So I'll tell you, I got off a plane because I had to take my vacation before starting, and I was on the job as commissioner until Sunday at 11:59 p.m. So I flew in from out of the country into Miami, flew to Tallahassee, and drove over. My family will be joining me on Sunday, and we still don't have. Clearly, I just jumped into the job. We still haven't had even the opportunity to look at that. So we'll be taking the time that we have in between all of the functions that I have as interim president to be able to look for that. So that's still a work in progress. But you know, I'm here.
Okay, your family will be joining you. You spoke about, you know, improving at UWF. You know, UWF ranked third in state performance metrics. Can you kind of expand a little more on how you plan or what your plan is to improve it, well, to at least maintain or improve those metrics?
We've had that discussion, and the provost has dug into the areas. Our overall score is great, and we're third, and but within those individual metrics, there are some that there's room for improvement, and he's working on a strategy now. And how do we? You always have to look at the weakest link. How do you improve? What can we do better, right? And some of them we're maxed out at, and I caution, just because you're maxed out, you don't take your foot off the accelerator. And so you have to continue to do that. But also, where are the metrics where there's room for improvement? And what are the things that we could be doing as an institution to improve that and to provide better opportunities for students? Because if you do that, the metrics take care of themselves. And also, look, the BOG can change the metrics. That's ever changing. So we have to continue to be aggressive. And so when I say improvement, even hanging on is hard. Right? So you have to keep pushing, because if you don't push, inevitably at some point somebody else is going to pass you, right? Because all these other 11 institutions, they're all gunning for that.
What are some of the areas that you see that the university can improve in?
Yeah, I think some of the metrics having to do with our students, we're very good at strategic emphasis and how much our students earn when they leave the institution. But some of the areas around graduation rate and cohorts of students, we just have to take a deep dive into that and see where those items are, and the strategies that the provost has, so as a team we can come together and make sure we implement those strategies. Any other questions? All right, well, sure.
Something lighthearted so we can bring the room up. What about, these all look like apples. What about any unexpected moment of joy with this Southern culture and charm that we have here?
Well, listen, it's been, I can tell you right off the bat that the community's been very welcoming as a whole, both the business community and everybody else. The food has been fantastic. It's not my.
Do you want to name anyone?
I don't want to name it. I don't want to get into that and upset somebody. But it's definitely a better food scene than Tallahassee. So I can tell you that. Just as welcoming and a better food scene. And there's, as a history guy, that's what I taught when I was in the classroom at K-12 level. Just the opportunity to be able to see this living history. It's funny because I came back from Spain, and I was listening to all of on the tour yesterday, all of the things having to do with Spain and the Spanish presence here in Pensacola, obviously the first settlement. And I clearly know what side of the argument we are with St. Augustine now. But I was gifted a book that just came out called 1776. Kind of the Spanish experience. So it's the American Revolution from the Spanish perspective and their role, and it hits on the Battle of Pensacola and some of those things, not just the settlement but the actual involvement. And so for me, that history and having direct Spanish heritage is something that it just happened to kind of fall in place, right? There's so much history here. It's enjoyable to be able to see that. Other parts of the state, when you get outside of these areas, is relatively new, when it comes to American history. But this part of Florida obviously has a long-standing historical tradition, and there's so many things to see. So I enjoy that, and I think we have to highlight that and maximize that potential as well.
Last question. What's your best advice to this football team?
Win a national championship. I know that's what they want to do, so I'm not telling them anything that they, I know how hard that is. The only thing you can do is prepare as best you can. Know that you've left it all on the field at the end of the day. Sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way, but as long as you can walk away and know that you've put everything you have with the time you've had into it, then I think we're going to be happy with the results. Thank you. And thank you all. Appreciate you all. Thank you.